Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Kita with Psychopath Exposure. I wanted to make a video on what happens to us when we start ruminating on the toxic ex, on the narcissist. You know, one of the things that's haunting, and I know a lot of you guys can relate, is that last good memory you have of the narcissist. Like, before the final discard happened, before things just completely fell apart and ended, before no contact, before that divorce was official, before 6 months went by, a year went by, and you never saw or heard from them again. That last good memory, that last time you guys had dinner and things seemed like they were going to work out. It seemed that maybe there was hope. You felt hope, even though there was already a history of toxicity, even though there was already betrayal, and you gave them another chance. Foolishly gave them another chance. But that's what happens when we're trauma bonded to these predators. We give them chances that we wouldn't give any other human being that would break our trust or our boundaries that way, right? So you remember those times, those last few hours, that last date, that last time you guys had dinner, last time you guys were intimate, the last movie you watched together, the last time you were cuddling in bed together. And you remember how you felt. And at that moment, everything was okay. Because you were with them. You were getting your fix. The trauma bond fix. I always say how a trauma bond is like a drug addiction. Because you're addicted to the chemicals that your brain releases when you're around this person. When you're physically involved with them, when you're physically intimate with them, when you're talking to them, when you're texting them. So that last time, that last fix that you got, where you actually had a good day and there was no drama, and you talked about making plans for next weekend, or making plans for just a couple of nights later. Or you just carried on about your day within the routine, expecting, to hear from them regularly, like you're used to, like you normally do. And then everything just stopped. All of a sudden you were ghosted for no reason. Obviously, they have their reasons, but no human reason, right? All of a sudden, things hit the fan. All of a sudden, that final discard happened. That final conversation. They came at you with some nonsense about why they couldn't see you anymore, and how they needed time alone, or they needed space, or this wasn't working out. And you're like, what the hell? We were just good just a few days ago. We didn't have a fight. Nothing happened. What happened? Well, clearly, something happened with their new supply where you got to be out of the picture. Clearly, something happened. But you were caught off guard. And you're left with this memory where you had put your walls down, you had put your guard down, knowing better, knowing what they had already put you through, but you still trusted in the moment. And now you're discarded. Or maybe this time you put your foot down and ended it for good. because they pulled something out of their ass that was unacceptable. But you remember that last happy moment. Those memories are haunting, guys. And I know what you guys feel. I know why you guys have a hard time letting go. I know why you ruminate. The brain cannot comprehend what went wrong. Because in a normal, healthy situation, when there's conflict, two human beings try to work on it to resolve it. When you're in a healthy relationship, a healthy partnership, and there's conflict, you both come together to work on it, to talk, to figure out what went wrong. But when you're just ghosted or discarded just blatantly, and you can't even recognize the person that's on the end of that telephone or at the end of that empty, cold text, and they won't give you a solid explanation, they just cut you off cold turkey, heartless, that leaves the brain in a state of shock. Imagine if someone told you, imagine if your mother after all your life comes and tells you, hey son, or hey baby, daughter, I don't know, I'm not a mom, I don't know what you call it. I don't know what they will call you. Imagine they tell you that they're a spy. And they've always been a spy. And their job, their mission to infiltrate whatever country, city, whatever their mission was, part of it was to take on the role of a mother, and they had to have a kid. Now, obviously, you were adopted. You're not really their son or their daughter, but they played a role. And now the mask comes off, and they're telling you the truth. Your brain will explode. All those memories from your entire life have just been revealed to have been fake. That will haunt you for the rest of your life. That's some serious trauma right there. And in a way, that's what narcissistic abuse feels like. Because when that mask comes off and you realize that this person you thought you knew, this person that you thought was your person, had been living a double life, they were a double agent, they were a spy, they were playing a role, they were on a mission to get something, and you were expendable, your brain's going to short circuit. And no matter how much information you fill your brain with, you're still going to be haunted by those memories, by those happy memories that you have. So that last memory that you have with your narcissist ex, and with the psychopath even, it's hard to let go. That's why most people struggle trying to recover or trying to heal from this situation, because they're haunted every moment of the day with those memories. That's why the rumination happens. Because the rumination is like you're trying to solve the puzzle. You're trying to get answers from this equation that no matter how much you spin it, no matter how many times you go through it, you never arrive at the correct result. You end up starting the equation all over again. You're stuck in this crazy loop that just when you think you're about to get to the end and you open that final door, you're right back at the beginning of the loop again. And it's like, what drives you insane? So you're trying to figure this mess out, and all you have to go with are the half-truths that your narcissist has been feeding you. I work with a lot of you guys, and most of you always tell me, well, he said this, or she told me this, and I'm like, oh wait, is that what the narcissist told you? Okay, so the narcissist told you that they did this, or they were here, or that this person was XYZ. That's what the narcissist told you. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. So we're haunted with these memories that felt real, and the narcissist told us stuff. Yes, you're my person, and we're going to spend the rest of our life together, and I know what I want, and whatever BS they feed you. Remember, that's what the narcissist told you. And you believed it. You wanted to believe it. You wanted to believe it. You knew deep inside, you knew there was something uncanny about it. Because if you've been through this long enough, if you've been playing this game long enough, if you've been stuck in this trauma bond long enough, and you're familiar with the cycle and the patterns, you know there's something uncanny. You know how things are going to end up. You know the chances are what they're telling you is a half-truth. But you choose, because of the addiction, you choose to believe the half that might be true, instead of looking at the half that's obviously not true, that's obviously a lie. Like I always say, if there's another player in the game, it's already game over. The minute there's another player, it's game over. You have to put that controller down and walk away from the console. You do not continue playing. You're not trying to win. You're not trying to defeat that other player so that the grand consolation prize is the narcissist. No, you shouldn't be fighting for the narcissist. You shouldn't be fighting any other man or any other woman for the love of the narcissist. The narcissist is triangulating, you guys. The narcissist is playing a game. It's their game. And you thought it was just a 2-player game. But now there's 3. Usually 4 or 5 when they have a harem. So you know there's something uncanny. The rules that you think you're playing by constantly keep changing. When they future fake you and you finally arrive at that milestone, like I've said in a previous video, then they goalpost you and they just push the goal further and further along, just to keep stringing you along. So you're holding on to that last memory because it was the last memory that made you happy. It's like when someone dies, when you lose someone in your family or a friend, and all of a sudden, even if you were fighting, or if you had a falling out, or even if the last encounter that you had was terrible, and you feel terrible about it, the brain all of a sudden remembers all the good times. And it's going to remember the last happy memory you had. And it's like, damn, things were really not that bad. I wish they were still here so we can go skiing again. Damn. So we wish that we were still with the narcissist, even though we know that they're toxic for us, even though we already know that we can never trust them again. You can never trust, ever, someone that cheated on you, someone that betrayed you, someone that broke your trust. It's a delusion to think that you can, but you really can't. You really can, and the brain just can't get itself to do it. But yet, we have this craving of reliving that last experience again and replaying it over and over in our mind. And we're like, what went wrong? Okay, what went wrong that day? Because I was discarded right after, or the day late, that same night, they decided to to tell the new supply. They decided to tell the new supply about me, and shit hit the fan. And all of a sudden they need space. What did I do? And you start looking at what you did. But guys, you did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. You were having a good time. It seemed like they were having a good time too. For the first time in a long time, you probably saw that spark in their eye. You saw how happy they were with you. You had your guard down. But remember, they always have something else going on. They had something else going on. They're playing, they're a double agent. They're living a double life. Remember that. They're living a double life. That's why your anxiety is out of control. That's why your stomach is restless. You know something's uncanny about the things that they tell you. You've known. And now all of a sudden you had that one experience where it seemed like things were going to work out. Really, guys, it was false hope. When you really think about it, it's false hope. At some point, regardless, you were going to look back and be like, okay, yeah, that was fun, but that doesn't change the fact that for the past year and a half, you've been lying and cheating on me behind my back. How am I ever going to forgive or forget that? How can you expect me to all of a sudden, I don't know, take the next step in the relationship or marry you or buy you that house that you want? How do you expect me to do that now when you have a track record of being abusive, of being an infidel, of being untrustworthy? Like, those things don't just disappear. But yet, now that they're gone, now that you're not talking anymore, now that hopefully you're going no contact and sticking to it, now you miss that last moment. You miss them. If we're being honest, you miss them. And that's okay. I know what that feels like. I know. But you have to always remember what it was that they did at the end to sabotage this entire relationship. You can't just remember on that. You can't just fixate on that happy time. Oh, they cooked me dinner and we had such a great time. It was the best day that we've ever had. And we all got dressed up and we were hanging out with their friends. And it like, wow, they introduced me to their friends. Things were really going to be better. What did they do that night? When they left, who were they with? Where did they really go? Did they go home? Or did they go on another date? Were they up all night talking to the new supply? Instead of cutting that situation, they were still trying to keep them around and keep you around? What about when they were talking to their ex right in front of you, texting their ex right in front of you? And you would tell them, hey, why are you still talking to that person? And they kept doing it. When they were flaunting their new supply on social media and comparing you to them. And yet you were so addicted that you still kept them around your life. You still stayed in that toxic entanglement. That's what you got to remember. And if you're having a hard time remembering those things at the appropriate moments where you need to remember them, you know what I like to do? I like to write things down. Write down on your spiral notebook with a pen, don't be typing this shit, and write down in detail how they betrayed you, how they cheated on you, how they ghosted you, how they refused to take your calls because they were cheating on you. And you were calling them because your intuition was screaming. And you were calling and texting them and they were with the other person. And they had to block you temporarily so the other person wouldn't be like, yo, what's up? They refused to take your call. They knew. Remember, I always say this. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Affairs are not mistakes. Affairs are always planned. Okay? By both parties. They were planned. They knew exactly what they were doing. Write that down. Write that down because your reticular activation system, when it's compromised, when you start missing them, when you're haunted over those last memories with a narcissist, your brain's only going to remember the good times. And it's going to fixate on that last moment that you guys had together before all shit hit the fan, before all hell broke loose. So that's when you grab your notebook and you're like, okay, Mr. Compromised Brain, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's right. On Mother's Day weekend, they conveniently ghosted me and refused to take my call to have a conversation. They just decided to blatantly end the relationship and didn't even want to talk about it. A week later, they came back. I got my fix because I'm trauma bonded. And then we had a conversation and they admitted to cheating and they admitted to they went back to the other supply. On so-and-so date, I had to call out of work for 2 weeks because the anxiety was so bad. Narcissist didn't care. Narcissist was with the other supply. Write all those things down. When you went on social media and you saw they were already dating someone else a week after you guys broke up, they were already in a relationship. Who does that? Do you? You can't just get into a relationship a week later. You just don't meet someone and you're in a relationship in 5 or 6 days. That person was already around. They were already cheating on you with that person. That person probably didn't even know you existed. And they're just being tricked just like you were. Write that down. Write that down. And when you're not strong enough to recall those truthful memories, you bring out the spiral notebook, okay? And you turn to page 394 and you read it out loud and you remind yourself of what really happened. Okay? Because you can't go haunted with these memories forever, because these are compromised thought patterns that will ultimately lead you right back into the trap. Okay? And once you're back into that little trap and you're repeating the trauma bond cycle, you know how that's going to end. You know how that plays out. And if you're watching these videos, I would assume it's because you want out of that addictive pattern. I'm hoping you're not watching this video trying to figure out how to fix the narcissist or how to make it work with the narcissist, because that's for another video. And I'll give you a preview. I'll give you a sneak preview on that. It would involve you sacrificing your self-worth, your self-esteem, your moral code, and abide by the abusive, manipulative, heartless mistreatment from the narcissist. And if you're going to sacrifice that in exchange for what the narcissist offers you, remember that the narcissist starts taking things away and eventually just breadcrumbs you. So at the end of the day, at the end of that story, at the end of that video, if I even make that video, you will have given up your soul and you're getting nothing in return. So if you're trying to figure out how to stay in a relationship with a narcissist and be happy and fix it and make it work, that's usually how it ends. Okay, so we're not trying to do that here. Okay, what we're trying to do is remember the truth at all times, because these are dark magicians and they're able to poison our minds, confuse us, and keep us in this state where we don't even trust our own judgment. Through the power of gaslighting, they do that. And because of the addiction that we have to that person, and the addiction that we have to that cycle, that abuse reward system, where you have all this anxiety and it's killing you and you're just restless, and all of a sudden you get that text. You get that one text that just comes at the appropriate moment and gives you the validation that you need, even if it's just a breadcrumb, because usually it's just a breadcrumb. All of a sudden it's like, and you get this rush of confidence, you get this rush of cockiness sometimes. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, nah, I'm good, guys. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You just feel confident all of a sudden because you got a little breadcrumb text. That's horse shit. Don't fall for it. This is how narcissists keep you addicted and stuck and bonded to them. It's a trick. It's a trick. They are disordered individuals. They don't know how to feel their feelings out the way we can. They can't self-reflect. A lot of them don't have empathy. So remember, when you're haunted by these last good memories, and believe me again, I know how that feels, bring out your spiral notebook, and the truth, if you wrote the truth down, will be right before your very eyes. So if you don't have a spiral notebook, you can go out to your local supermarket, CVS, or Amazon, pick yourself up a spiral notebook, get yourself your favorite pen, a nice pen that you enjoy writing with, and get to work. Okay? And if you'd like to work directly with me, shoot me an email at info@psychopathexposure.com. I have an online private one-on-one coaching program. And if you'd like more details on how you can get in on that, just visit my website, psychopathexposure.com/coaching, or shoot me a private email. And I hope you guys are doing great. Get your notebooks, start writing your things down. Hope you got some value from this video. Remember to subscribe and click on the bell icon. And continue participating in the comments and in the community, sharing your love, strength, and hope with the rest of the survivors here. Really appreciate it. So I got for today. I will see you in the next video. My name is Kira. That's Kira. And this is Psychopath Exposure. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.